Okay, so first off, PJ is jealous of Palette since Ink and Era never treated him and Gradient like their child but instead neglecting him. The reason for this is because he was made not from love but from Ink and Era's hate for each other. If Era were ever to ask Ink out, Ink would often be cruel and have no empathy. Era does like Ink but Ink doesn't like him due to of course not being able to feel real emotions and the fact they are enemies. In short, Ink is a jerk most of the time to Era. For the Dreamtail twins, yes they are brothers by blood in my AU. Dream still sees Nightmare as his brother still though despite being a strange octopus looking thing. There are two versions of every AU. For example, I ship Soriel in Undertale. I will explain the ages later, but I also ship Cherry Berry. There are two Undertales, two Reapatales etc. As you can see, these three have a specific ahoj. This little weird thing I DK what it's called but you can see these guys do not have that ahoj. This is because they aren't exactly sans due to Fresh being a parasite, Ink having no soul and PJ being offspring. They technically never had their own AU. It is the same for the human Dreamtail twins. They would have an ahoj more like this. Blue has a star on his cheek because in my AU, his fallen star sans version is not Yanberry but Blueberry. Humans and monsters age differently, so all of the monsters are 100 plus years old apart from the children monsters. Asriel and Monster Kid. Say Frisk is 10 years old. The monsters would have aged 100 in monster years. Papyrus isn't exactly aware but he knows what a reset is. He does remember but not everything that happens. All he knows is that he has hope in the human Sans and Alphys used to date. This was when Sans was into science. I see Underswap Chera as Chera's passive form. This is why I gave them brown eyes to show their non-evil form. My Frisk is gender-neutral fluid and my Chera is non-binary, neither a boy or girl. The reason I have to mention this is because someone kept on saying Chera was canonically a girl which they are not. However I do not mind if you make Chera a boy or girl. Canonically, Chera and Frisk have no confirmed gender. Era and Fresh are not brothers. In fact Era is physically and mentally scared of Fresh. Speaking of Fresh, PJ is emotionally dependent on Fresh due to being neglected by Ink and Era and has a sexual attraction to him. Fresh uses PJ as a tool as he knows PJ is dependent on him and feels that way towards him. After all, PJ is only a kid and easy to manipulate in Fresh's eyes. Oh hey look PJ and Gradient. PJ doesn't like to wear his scarf since it reminds him of Ink and how him and Era couldn't put aside their rivalry for him and Gradient.
You know the rules, and so